Hello, everybody. Happy Election Day. So the first thing I'm going to do is stop at the ballot box and drop that off. Here in California. Whew, why is that like that? Boy, I parked shitty last night. Oh, be quiet. So there's just the one thing on the ballot for California, which is Proposition 50. And you know, maybe I wouldn't go to the trouble of dropping off a ballot for one item, especially since I think it's going to pass. Is my one vote going to make a big difference? Maybe. But I'm voting because I'm mad. And a couple weeks ago, I got a postcard from some gentleman telling me, don't let them do this to us. Don't let them fiddle around with stuff. Vote no on Prop 50. I didn't even know what Prop 50 was at that time. There was just something about the way the verbiage was on the postcard. And I know these are really written by political people, and then they get volunteers who sit there and scribble by hand and then mail the postcards out. And the signature was your friend Bill D. Visalia. And I knew, because not all of California is blue. There are big chunks of it that are red. Visalia, I think, safely can be guessed as a red area. The farmy areas tend to be more conservative and tend to be more red. So I thought, okay, I better look at what this Prop 50 is. And, me and my political consultant, Google, looked at what Prop 50 was. And Bill D. from Visalia, this one is for you. I might have blown this total thing off if I hadn't gotten that postcard. That shady, shammy postcard. And I'm very tired of the state of things in our country, that he's gonna sit there in his house, in his mansion, having a great Gatsby party, and he's gonna deny people SNAP benefits. If you are looking for a comparison from where we are now to where we've seen this in the past, you need look no further than the French Revolution. Now, Marie Antoinette never actually said, let them eat cake. What she did was, she had one of them big wigs on her head, and it was decorated with pieces of cake at a time when there was a shortage and people could not get bread. If you think about a main staple in French food, bread would be pretty high up on there. Some cultures it's rice. My people were driven from the country because there were no potatoes. We like our starchy foods. They sustain us. And stuff goes sideways when you forget to feed the poor people. A little party didn't kill no one. Until it did. Until it did, senor. So, I'm not gonna fuss around about the state of things. Oh, here we are, ballot box. Official ballot drop box. Let me just park. Please don't hit me, senor Range Rover. Oh, yay, citizen. We're all voting. We are all voting. So I did it. I voted. I voted yes on Prop 50 because it's no sneakier than what anybody else is doing. What was that noise? You worried about sneaky? You know, somehow, and I don't know how this happened, the way we do politics is like watching college football. There's us and them, and there's rivalries, and there's the only thing that counts is victory. And victory is you won and you're in office. To me, the victory would be everybody has something to eat. Everybody has someplace to sleep. Everybody has a chance at a job. Everybody has health care. To me, that's a victory. I don't care if you're red or blue or green or purple or plaid. If you put your butt in office through all your campaign efforts and you look at the generosity of the amount of money that we have and you redistribute that money, and instead of fluffing up defense stuff, nobody else can meet us. We've got more guns and bullets and missiles than anyone else. We're gagging on them. We have so much, but we can't give school teachers supplies for the classroom. School teachers, before classes start, go and stock up on crayons and construction paper and what have you, and they send lists out to the families. Make sure your kids have school supplies. This is insane. This is insane. So we can bomb the hell out of anybody we want. Nobody's going to bomb us because they know we have a lot of bombs. And what? We cannot give grandma her insulin? No. No, there's a lot of people strutting around saying that they're good Christians and they are not generous because they're afraid that somebody who is in the country without proper documentation is going to eat up all the Medicare. Okay, kid, you cannot do math. That's obvious. That's obvious. And they're shipping all the landscapers and nannies and housekeepers to God knows where. And meanwhile, that man has the nerve to sit up in his, well, what used to be the White House, and talk about how all the criminals are coming from overseas when he is convicted 34 times over a felon. He is an adjudicated SA'er. He's a grapist. And I don't know if anybody remembers the story from the first Trump administration, but apparently there were a lot of happy pills. The scuttlebutt was lots of recreational, non-medicinal medicine being used. So, you know, a lot of pot calling the kettle black. A lot of I'm rubber and you're glue, and everything you say bounces off of me and sticks to you. Only they don't see it that way. So it's Tuesday, and wow, it was a stop sign, sir. So I want to tell you a story about Election Day. My grandmother was born in 1904, and she campaigned for women to get the vote. And it was a sacred duty. And I know I said I contemplated not voting, and my grandmother would be so disappointed in me for that. She would be so disappointed, because she was part of the fight for women to get the vote. And for me to just blow it off would be a terrible sin in her eyes. So, my grandmother, her name was Loretta. But when she was a girl, they lived in a German neighborhood, and all the kids called her Laura. So when I was born on All Saints Day, and I was given the nicknames of both my grandmothers. So I was named Laura Jean, because my father's mother, her name was Regina. So Laura Jean, and Grandma was so delighted with that, you know, that one, I was named for her, so that was meaningful, and two, I was born on All Saints Day. She was deeply Catholic woman. She went to Mass several times during the week. I don't know that she went every day, but she went a lot. One of her kids was a priest. One of her kids, for a brief minute, was a nun. My mother the nun, very religious woman. She lit a candle for me every single day. When I was little and I went to go spend the night at Grandma's, I was getting tucked into bed, and she says, "Did you say your prayers?" And I lied, and I said, "Of course I did," because I knew that was the answer that she wanted. And she said, "Well, who did you pray to?" And I looked at her like she was crazy, and I said, "I prayed to God." And I must have had a tone when I said it, because she cracked up. And she said, "That's right. You were born on All Saints Day. You could cut out the middleman." Her feeling was, it was the duty of all the saints to convey my prayers to God. Not just my favorite saint, but every saint in the book. Their job was to look out for me. So fast forward to 1980, I don't know. I don't remember. And Grandma has the heart attack. It's November. It's election time. Maybe it was Clinton. Maybe it was 92. But I know it was a presidential election year. And yeah, it must have been 92. When we got my mom, I got her on an airplane, sent her to go be with her family, you know, and say goodbye to Grandma. And, you know, and she seemed fine. She said, "I'm fine. Why don't you kids all go get a pizza or something?" So they did. They all went out of the hospital, across the street to the pizza parlor. And that's when she passed away. And so they're all gathering themselves up, because it's hard to lose a parent. And somewhere in the conversation, my mom said, and she didn't get to vote And her sister said, "Are you crazy? She voted by mail 2 weeks ago." So, she passed away on election day. And she had already voted. It was her last act of civic duty. I hope you get a chance to get out and vote or fill out your ballot or drop a ballot off. I hope that nobody interferes with you. I know that they're sending people to lurk and watch at polling locations, presumably to prevent brown people from voting. Which is weird because a lot of brown people voted for that pumpkin. So strange. Yeah. So this democratic nation is a tremendous and important experiment. And I feel like it's on life support right now. And it's our job to fight. Even if you voted no on Prop 50, I hope you got your butt out and voted. Go cancel my vote, but go participate. Go be part of the solution, because all I see is problems. That's all I see. And we have to clean this mess up. Our leaders are not capable. They've got the government shut down because they're not capable. And the blue ones want to blame the red ones, and the red ones want to blame the blue ones. And I don't give a rat's ass. It's everybody's fault. All y'all need to get a hold of yourselves. And it's time for any politician who is in office over the age of 75 to start mentoring younger politicians into the committees and the leadership roles that will help shape the future. But we got people hanging on there. Dianne Feinstein stayed at the party too long. Mitch McConnell staying at the party too long. I'm looking at these people who are you just don't know what you're going to do with yourself if you're not in office. It's such a part of your identity you can't figure out. Maybe it's time to take up fishing or knitting or go spend time with your grandkids. And if you don't have grandkids, go find some kids to be nice to. Crikey. Retirement isn't a natural state of being. It really isn't. I get it. We identify with our jobs too much. I am a nurse. I am a teacher. I am an engineer. I am a senator. What are you if you're not doing that job? If you don't have an identity outside of your job, 2026. Here's your goal for 2026. Your occupation may be bus driver, but you are a karate ninja superstar. Your occupation may be tutor, but you are one of the world's best bakers. It's time, long past time, for us to confront the workaholism of our country. That unless you have some sort of occupation name, you're worthless and people stop caring about you. And that is so wrong, and the ageism is real. What is going on? Everybody's lost their minds. Okay. It's election day and everybody's crabby. That's okay. I'm not going to hang on and on and on. I've made my point. You know where I stand. Go out there and nullify my vote. Go out there and amplify my vote. Just go out there and vote. Vote! Okay. I'll talk to you kids later. Bye.